Hey everybody, welcome to Speedbump. We have a race of an Untitled Story is the working name for this game. I always want to say an Untitled Egg Story, but it is an Untitled Story. It's about an egg.
It's about eggs.
Yeah.
Or just one egg, I guess.
We got 5 racers today. We had some trouble getting one of them up, so we only have 5. It is an old game. It came out in 2007. I mean, is that old? It's last gen.
It's 15 years ago.
Yeah. It's not retro yet by my clock, but it's getting there.
When you see 2007, do you think 15 years ago? Does that feel like the right math to you? Because it feels like the wrong math to me.
That's that kind of stuff. I'm always like, yeah, that sounds right. Longest 15 years of my life. No, it sounds right. It's been a while. That was like Oblivion. I mean, when you think about it in terms of how shitty the Elder Scrolls game at the time was. But I guess that doesn't work since it's been Skyrim for 20 years. We are ready to go whenever they are. You can just type /start when they have already.
All right.
You might need to have Vlad remove themselves since they couldn't join. Not sure.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
But you can use flat force start. There's a way to force start, but it's all good.
Force. I don't have that option. Maybe I'm not a cool enough guy to have that option.
Might need to add that one still. That might still be in dev. We got audio from anybody?
I think a few people said they had audio. Dude said the audio will be clean.
Okay. I'll pull that audio from Dude. This is a Metroidvania platformer of sorts. You can Mario the enemies to death. Later on, you get fireballs like Mario. He's an egg like Mario. It's all Mario.
All right, here we go. The race is about to start.
That's a nice Discord prompt they got there. On screen is cool.
Very nice.
That's the bot saying, hey, get ready.
Yeah, this new bot is awesome for racing.
I knew there was some kind of audio. It's a very discordant game in terms of graphics, MS Paint looking audio, and graphics.
So don't hold it against our players, all the weird captures. This is a 15-year-old game, and apparently it was giving our players a lot of trouble trying to actually capture it for broadcast. OBS was throwing a fit with the changing resolution and stuff like that.
Love those sound effects from Windows 95.
Yeah, those little orchestra hits.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm going to be working on making their crops cleaner.
All right.
While we do this. They are kind of all over the place. It's going to be based on like the resolution of their monitor, where that is coming from. We are going by maximum health that they find here.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could measure progress. There is a sort of progress percentage that we could have possibly gone with, but we decided early on that it's just going to be based on hearts, and there's a spot in the menu where it tells you how many hearts you've collected, so we're going to be going off of that and that alone for measuring progress. We can maybe break ties on overall progress percentage or something, but every time you kill a boss, you get a heart, and there's some hearts hidden throughout the world, so it should be a pretty good measure of their Metroidvania skills.
Yeah. So we're already seeing a lot of
The screen looks like an Amogus. Did
the original
Did
meme.
Maddie predict Amogus?
You aren't ready for it yet, but your kids are gonna love this one.
This may not make sense right now, but your children are going to have this image saved to their phone.
I haven't beaten this game, but I have seen it and played it. It's one of the games I always remember. People would play it in the racing thread we used to have in SA back then. When they were done racing, they would pull this one out or some other thing. A couple people were into this one. and that's where I know
That's
it's from.
cool.
I know it is like the backup game. Like Psych would always pull up Peggle. Started playing that. I wish we did race one time, but
You did race Peggle.
I love racing Peggle.
Man, can't get enough of those Peggle races.
Yeah, it's a good game to race. We did it as a April Fool's joke against racing Pokemon, and everyone got mad at us in the comments that wasn't in on community about it not actually being a Pokemon race, because apparently around the time of 2013, y'all maniacs were actually speedrunning and racing Pokemon, a thing that baffles me.
Yeah, there are people who do speedrun Pokemon.
It got me thinking, like, oh, do they speedrun Chrono Trigger then? And then I looked up that it was just script breaking. I'm like,
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, the most important upgrade are those hearts. So, in most races like this, if we felt like they could actually finish the game in the, what are we doing, 45 minutes, 30?
I didn't tell them that information. I should tell them. We'll do, based on what time we start, we'll do 45. That's fine.
Yeah. In a race like this, if the players could finish it, and somebody out there probably can, we would go by distance or whatever, or actually, just time. But in this, the heart upgrades, which they would normally probably ignore if they were really good at it, are going to be the marker for victory. So they're going to hunt those down specifically, and not anything else. They're going to need to beat some bosses to get double jump and fireball and all that kind of stuff, but
yeah, there are some of those things they're going to have to find. The jump power-ups give you a variety of different abilities, raising the height, giving you double jump, things like that.
Speedruns for this game are very fast. 30 minutes to clear any percent. 100% is a lot longer. It's 95. I saw the YouTube video for that. That hasn't really been improved on much in the... 6 years ago it was in that neighborhood, so that's pretty close to optimal, it sounds like. Like, it used to be 80 minutes. No, 102 minutes is what it used to be. Now it's down to 75.
So we got Tarragon and Gaffadil both in this area here. This looks like they're having a duck between all of these shots that are being fired. Gaffadil seems to be following her instincts pretty well in terms of looking for all of these hidden spots. Not all the hearts are just off of beating bosses. Some of them you can get from exploring a little bit, and so there's definitely a choice that our players have to make. Are they just going to like rush down every single boss as quickly as they can, or are they going to actually hunt down all of these extra hearts? And right there, dude entered a shop, which it seemed to me at a glance was selling hearts. So with enough money, you can actually get a little bit of an advantage in this race.
The shopkeeper sells heart upgrades, I think.
Looks like it, yeah.
So collecting money is going to be one way that you can get those.
Yep.
I think those are easy ones to pick up, because yeah, just get yourself back there. That's going to be the HQ for upgrades here.
Yeah, I mean, that's good information.
This game is quite large for what it is. You wouldn't expect it. It's cool, but it looks like one of those goofy like Newgrounds kind of games. But some of those are just like wildly better than all the rest. Like Meat Boy stood alone for a long time. It looks like Gaffadil is figuring out the boss already.
Yeah, this boss is just about hitting those blue shots so that you can return fire at whatever the creature is hiding behind the cannons. With enough help, you can kind of outlast this one a little bit, but it's still a little bit tricky.
Pink Egg defeated. Now We have Fireball. I think that's what that upgrade was there. I didn't know that. Beating the boss without taking a hit is worth bonus money.
I mean, that's actually something that Darkman mentioned in the chat. You know, Darkman's our guy in the know who has all the great information for our racers. When he when we're setting up for a race, when he tells you something, you should listen to it. He mentioned that hitless boss kills would earn you extra money, and now we're finding out that the money is going to play a role in this race.
Yes. I don't think you need too much, but
I mean if you'd like to buy all those heart upgrades, it's not cheap.
Yeah, those other eggs, I don't even know what they are. They might be power-ups. I'm not super familiar with this game. I just know. I mean, it's hard to be familiar with it without actually just playing it, because I've watched it before, and I mean, where are they? You know, every area looks different, but it's got that MS Paint aesthetic, and it's very minimalist, and it's huge. It's freaking huge.
Yeah, big game. What's happening on Gaffadil's screen there?
Are they in the same zone that Dude is in? They gotta do some block sliding.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, but this is a game by Matty Thorson. You know, perhaps slightly better known for Celeste.
Dude almost had solved it, and they ran away from it. They just didn't see the final move on the slide. They only had to do one more step, and they would have had it. It's like watching somebody play Alundra in the ice. Did you do those without help?
I don't think I took help on anything for Alundra.
The Ice Palace, Ice Wand sliding puzzle is a feat.
Yeah, I suppose I did then.
The only thing I remember you missing was like the warps, which is a frustrating thing to miss, but what a game to hide a thing like that. Just everywhere you look, there's warps, and make the game so much faster, and they don't tell you about them at all, and you have to do this Simon Says ass puzzle to get them. Tarragon's in the heat.
Tarragon's trying not to die here.
Pretty rough.
There's like a little hole that you can hide in there, and the question is there something back there?
Oh no, they missed the jump. They saw some secrets though.
Yeah. Might wanna come back for some of those. Now the question is, does Tarragon know that you can warp from one of those to another save point? Like, does he have other save points to warp to? Okay. So he found his way back. Maybe not what you want to see, losing progress like that, but... Rob's trying to figure out what to do here.
Got our first heart from the store on Dude's screen.
Yep. A few other people have bought one heart, but they're expensive, so it's not going to be easy for them to buy all of them if that's their plan. They definitely ramp up after the first one quite a bit.
It's hard to read the power up exactly what it is. I think that was high jump or something.
Yeah.
Wonder if I can get a list.
A lot of them just raise the height of your jump, like that's all they do.
Yeah. Game is considered a Metroidvania due to the non-linear fashion. This is by Maddie from Celeste. Have you played Celeste? I always forget if I've asked you that before.
Yeah, I raced it when it first came out with a friend, and I haven't played it since. But I'd like to go back and do all the strawberries.
I'm ready to guess for the Celeste. I played it with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which has a.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you have a lot of strong opinions about the game then.
Well, I did, and then I fixed my controller, and I went back and said, "Wow, I was completely wrong." This was one of those times where I finally admit I'm wrong, and the game's
Wow.
fine. And, it's a very controllable game. The fine-tuned jumping is rough, but it's completely fair when your controller works. So I opened my Switch controller up and taped the contacts properly and made them work right. I did that because I was playing Tetris 99 at a high level, and the inputs reading wrong on that is instant death. So I had to do it. And when I went back and played Celeste with the new fix, way better game. Just wildly different game. And you can see some of that Celeste level design, and this is what I am getting at. Like, you can sort of tell that a Metroidvania element was added to Celeste, kind of like it's just got the same kind of good platforming stuff. All the modern features of platforming, and a couple new ones, speedrunner stuff.
Sure.
Where you wave dash against the floor and you get a super jump because of that, and that is not necessary, but it becomes a big element of the DLC. And once you've done it and you master it, the main game is super easy.
It's also just a lot more fun to have more of a sandbox to play in, you know? Like you could easily design around not having that feature and not have to go through the trouble of building it, and that'd be fine, but even if it makes some things easier, allows you to skip some content, it's just fun to have a big sandbox to play in.
There's a costume for Ogmo from Jumper in this. You know about Ogmo?
I do not. And I don't know what Jumper is either.
It's another Matty game. Jumper,
Gotcha.
Ogmo is a character in Super Meat Boy. That's where I know it from. A guest, one of the guests that you can play as instead of Meat Boy, and he has double jump. Heck, we ought to do that sometime. Jumper and Jumper 2 are like indie classics. It's a little earlier than this. A couple years before.
That's you said it's one of Maddie's games?
Pretty sure.
All right, let's look. Maddie has kept a pretty organized website of her old stuff. Yep, Jumper, Jumper 2, and Jumper Redux.
Ogmo is like your first double jump in Meat Boy. The first, you have to do it to get bandages in a lot of stages. Like, you can use the kid from I Want to Be the Guy or Ogmo, and those are the two who can actually get the bandages. So I'm familiar with that character because of that, mostly. Because...
Okay, so this character has a cameo in Super Meat Boy, but it's originally from this.
Yeah, has a cameo in Meat Boy in the form of being an alternate character that you play as,
right?
Which is essential to 100% the game. To get all the bandages, you have to switch characters. Meat Boy cannot do it. He can get like 90% of them, as far as I know, unless there's some kind of super trick you can use to air hop out of the way, because double jump is needed by design. I know Meat Boy is a very busted game. You know, Meat Boy is one of those games with it had a really good speedrun, like a damn near perfect speedrun, and everyone was setting it as the standard, and then we found out that one was fake based on the loading screen animations. Like, it's a very easy game to clip together, but when we really analyzed Meat Boy and we found that the loading screens are cycled and they didn't match up with the footage, we knew that they had stitched that video together.
Yeah, that's one of those classic tales.
That's like the most famous one I know of that I personally watched and was like, wow, I wish I was as good at Meat Boy as this person. I played Meat Boy a lot, and I did near deathless run, but pretty rough. Daffodil is at the tree.
I think Digi was experiencing some technical issues. This isn't a rage quit. This is Digi was having some issues getting the game to run perfectly. We had one other person who was planning on joining us who we also couldn't get to run perfectly. So I mean, this is our punishment for taking a 15-year-old executable and saying, hey, would everyone mind running this on their computer?
I have an executable from 1994 or so. It was for TetraNet, the first multiplayer Tetris game I've ever played. It was very good. It allowed me to fight 5 people at once, like, and kill them all in Tetris with weapons or just regular Tetris style. And so I have the server files for that, and when I try to run those on a modern machine, I get an error that's like, we don't know what the fuck this is. I can't remember what the error is exactly, but it's uniquely like, this isn't a real file. You sure you want to run this? And it's like it's like it's saying it's a virus, but it doesn't understand how it could be because it's written in like hieroglyphics.
This is sort of a program written by a fake person for a fake computer.
This is what an alien thinks programs are. Are you sure you want to run this thing? We had like IRC based really good Tetris that ran on Windows 95, 6 players over IRC and the internet, and it was great. It worked so well. You could see all 6 screens at once. It's just an amazing thing to have had. One of the first multiplayer online things I had access to. Like, we were playing if I wanted to play Warcraft 2, a similarly time-framed game, I'd have to call my friend on a modem, and if his dad picked up, I'd hear him in my computer on the speakers yelling about how he can't understand what this beeping is, and the game would shut off. Like, that's how gaming worked then, and we had this thing that just ran.
And that's the way we liked it.
Yeah. Petronet was ahead of its time.
Our players are making admirable progress. It's nice to be able to have a tangible thing we've already decided to point to for progress, because I would have no clue who's doing the best right now. Everyone has found very slightly different things, even if some of our players are working on the same stuff at the moment.
It's very non-linear. Like, dude is only now finding the fireball boss.
Right.
Get the fireball boss theme. Do you think they made this in like Mario Paint Music Maker? What is this?
This is Game Maker 8 apparently.
Oh, sweet. I recognize that, like, that sound effect, that triumph sound.
Yeah, they're all oh, Gaffadil found a hidden heart. That's a secret tool that'll help us later. Oh yeah, this is for sure middies. That's why I recognize the orchestra hit sound so well.
I see one of the speedrunners for this game is in the chat. We didn't prep them for this. They just picked it up 20 minutes ago. We're like, hey, we're going to race this. And we gave them this game. So, yeah, I don't know that any of them have played this before that are currently racing. But if that's the case, they're doing really well, in my opinion. Like, I know this game has difficulty settings and stuff. And I assume they set it for the lowest or normal.
Yeah, I told them to set it to regular, which is the second out of 4 difficulty modes. I'd have to look at that. Let me open it back up. I want to see what the other difficulty modes are. This is going to be loud in my ears. I'm going to regret opening this, aren't I? Yes, I am regretting it right now.
The contest here is in 45 minutes they need to get as much health upgrade as they can. That's what we're doing here. Just throwing them at the... Just throwing them at the wolves here and seeing what they can come up with.
So there's simple is the easiest difficulty. There's normal, the regular difficulty, the normal way to play, rather tough at times. Then there's difficult mode. Choose only if you want a hard time of playing, and masterful. Challenging to the max. We should have made them play masterful. I regret not punishing them that way.
I was trying to find a list of all the upgrades because I'm not sure what they are exactly. I know you turn... Your egg hatches at some point.
What?
Yeah.
Into what? What could it hatch into?
2 eggs.
Oh God. It's not an egg at all. It's actually 2 eggs.
I just don't remember exactly what all the power-ups are. In this era of gaming, yeah, PC indie games, usually hard mode meant less saves. That's usually all it meant. AAA
Yeah, I was kind of
games.
expecting it to have the Battle Kid unfair setting, you know, the very hard with 1 life.
Yeah, no saves at all. AAA games would do difficulty, and probably still do, by just multiplying all the numbers in the whole game by 5. Just everything that's the enemy's numbers times 5. Just not yours, just theirs. Just 5 times the HP, 5 times the defense. They don't even check usually. Like, this is how I've had AAA developers on LPs that I've done, and this is what they were like. Yeah, well, they wanted on Steam, and they were mad there wasn't a hard mode. So in the last week of dev, we just we just opened up Excel and 5x all the numbers. I've heard that. Like, from devs, like, that's actually just a fact for a couple of games, but that's generally the way it is still done sometimes when they're getting crunched, and that's what hard mode usually is. So for indie games, I'm used to it being less mercy, less saves, more precision, more exact. I don't think that's great either, because the save checkpointing is fine, but yeah, it's usually, can you do this without
Rob's
taking a
trying
single death?
very hard to jump on this boss when it might just be easier to shoot him, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out exactly how you're supposed to deal damage to this boss that Rob's on at the moment. But jumping on him seems to only be hurting him. Hurting the player character, I mean.
What's your favorite sound effect?
It's probably one of those orchestra hits. I think it's a music riff that keeps popping in randomly.
Mario Maker has some choice sound effects.
A lot of these little riffs that are happening in this game remind me of playing janky Unity games where they just downloaded some pack of sounds from the Unity store and rolled with them.
I haven't seen it in very many games after, like, Neo Contra. Contra is one of the ones that's responsible for this disastrous idea where if you're playing on easy or even normal, you don't get all the content in your run. It just stops at some point. It just stops short of the final boss.
There's a few old NES games that are like that, and it is always the worst thing.
Now, the worst thing is Ghouls and Ghosts, which continues to do it in all of their modern releases, beating the game and being like, you know what? You're only half done, and you gotta take some lousy weapon and use it the entire time again, and then you can win. That's the worst that I've ever heard of.
You gotta wonder who asked for that. Like, I mean, I understand that Ghouls and Ghosts fans are gonna be so, brain poisoned that they're like, yes, we actually love this, but I know they don't love it. I know that they're telling lies.
They could just play it again if they loved it so much, you don't need the double loop. And that's not even counting the hard mode, which I think you have to still be on normal or hard to finish that game too.
Daffodil has hatched. This is
one hatch. Does that give you more jumps being hatched?
I mean, maybe you can float now or fly a little bit.
Digi is bailing, is that right? They just aren't able to stream it?
Say what?
Is Digi out?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier Digi was having some technical issues. Apparently, for some reason, when they were playing, it had some unplayable input lag.
Okay.
We're losing people left and right over here. What have you done, Smite?
I was trying to... Yeah, I should have been in studio mode for that. I was just seeing if I could make everybody's screen bigger. That's my bad. I'm so used to being in studio mode, I didn't even check. I just assumed it was on. We've watched them this far. They've only got less than 20 minutes left.
Yeah. Our players are doing really well. Everyone who's able to run the game at least is making admirable progress in lots of different directions. I'm seeing some people on parts that I saw from other players like 15 minutes ago, while they've gone on to do other things. Oh, here we go, Gaffadil playing blackjack.
There's a lot of mini games in this. I was checking out the wiki looking for the power-ups. There's jump box, heist mode, blackjack, astro crash. What is this? I don't know if you get anything for doing this minigame stuff.
Yeah, this was made by Maddie Thorson, and all of her old games are still on her website, mattmakesgames.com. .com, yeah. So you can go on there and play a lot of the old back catalog she has.
When we doing Celeste?
Like on the show, or are you asking me again about me let's playing it?
We can do the Pico 8 Celeste.
We should do the Pico 8 Celeste. I really like Pico 8 Celeste. I've played that.
It's on the Game Boy Advance. There's a port of it. I was thinking about using it on Arcade Pit at some point because of that, but I don't know for sure that that's a good idea.
As in, like, opening the door to unlicensed stuff, or specifically that one?
Specifically that one, the unlicensed port of a Pico 8 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Celeste has Pico 8 Celeste built into it, if you can find it.
Yep. How much gambling is done in the 100% speedrun? I don't know. The 100% speedrun's like an hour and 50 minutes, I think. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's not a small amount. I wouldn't be shocked if it depends on that to get a little bit of money, but it might also be on a higher difficulty and just getting money based on no hitting bosses. Tarragon got the break the blocks power up.
Well,
this game's pretty cool.
I guess it depends on what power-ups are in the store. It looked like there were some. You don't need the health upgrades, I imagine. You can just not get hit, so...
Well, the 100% speedrun would need all of those health upgrades.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The any percent probably doesn't gamble at all, that's for certain, but the question's about 100% and whether or not there's enough money just off of boss kills to do everything you need. I don't know what else you would spend money on, so if there's nothing else you need to spend money on, then bosses are probably more than sufficient.
It's pretty close for Gaffadil in this fight. They're doing good, but they have no hits left. And that orb is, it can be in a bad place when the time comes to punish the boss. Take it out.
Oh, got cornered there.
You can buy furniture. One of the Castlevanias lets you do that. If you like. Even though you're gonna break the castle when you're done. Just Belmont would like to buy all the furniture in this castle and stick it in some room. That's one of the Game Boy Advance ones. Just Belmont.
Gaffadil taking another shot at the boss. Did not come in with full health, but is coming in with a much better jump height, which is making all the difference, it feels like, for this boss. Yeah, Rob was walled, is walled. I didn't see Rob beat that Thwomp boss, but was really struggling with it. But I think Rob was mostly struggling with it because his jump height just was not enough to really make sense.
Daffodil has got it.
Making it look easy out here.
Dude in the same place. Super high jumps. Doesn't even need the double. It's just large jumps.
Well, I can answer this mystery for everyone in chat right now. So the world record's 136 for 100%. Let's see if there's any gambling in it. If there is going to be gambling because of the way it saves, it would be pretty early on. You wouldn't want to put it off because it saves the amount of it saves your progress before you gamble, so it's as to prevent you from save scumming it. So I'd be very surprised if the gambling happens later. So I'm just gonna flip through real quick and we'll see if there's any gambling.
Daffodil making it through Spike Room. Dude needs one more hit.
Flipping through this footage, I'm not seeing any gambling. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'm just flipping through it for the most part. Here's where the main gambling would happen. Yeah, they skip right past it. So yeah, I don't think there's any gambling in the speedrun.
They got the downward slam fire attack.
That's the one that what Tarragon's had for a while.
Yeah.
Got about 10 minutes left. Everyone's making pretty decent progress. It seems like it might be a little bit close. I'm curious to see if there is a lot of differential between number of hearts collected. I know a few people have gotten some secret ones. I know quite a few people have more or less the same number of bosses killed. So I'm interested to see if that's going to be way different. So this platforming with like the little spots that you touch and it gives you another jump gives me real Celeste vibes.
Yeah. Here is the blue boss. Haven't seen this one yet. It's a slime boy. He is splitting a lot.
Yeah, you got to do some cleanup to keep that under control.
I was playing Rogue Legacy recently because it's in the Crossworlds thing, which is, you know, giving me that game is kind of a mistake. If you want to have actually a good time with Crossworlds, I'll just give you a bunch of items. But there's a boss in that is that sort of thing, a slime that splits a bunch. And if you go there too early, it's a nightmare.
Daffodil touched a teleporter that took her back to the title screen, or to the first screen.
Yeah. That's because there was no way out, I don't think, from where they fell into.
Gotcha.
About 8 minutes left in this. Find a couple more hearts, maybe? Can't afford.
There should be a command for the bot for, say, a time limit, so I can give you updates on how much time is left.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
If you tell it's a 1 hour race, it can give you an update at 30 minutes and 5 minutes till.
I'm gonna note that down.
I like to think of myself as something of an ideas man, you know. That's what I bring to the table.
Thanks for designing the entire bot
You're welcome.
in 1 hour.
Oh no.
Let me see.
Use the Discord TTS ability to send out a vocalized message every 5 minutes.
1 air horn per minute of race remaining. Can I send like a handwritten letter 24 hours before each race? Paragon has found a power up, but I think most other players have found a while ago up there at the top of the tree.
That is the thing about these non-linear races, is that it can be very difficult to confront the fact that you very well may lose by no fault of your own because everyone found all the easy stuff early and you missed it.
Yeah. I lost the Beavis and Butthead Kuso race because I didn't understand why they kept interrupting me and laughing in cutscenes.
Why'd they interrupt you? Is it because they're rude boys?
There was some reason, there was some gameplay reason why they would do that. It made it really hard to play.
Unbelievable that they do that to you.
Yeah.
Rob, back at it again at the Thwomp boss. Does he have more jump ability? Doesn't look like it. It looks like he just barely can reach the top of this enemy, so he's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's a setting for how much interruption they would do, and it was forced to be set at max for the race, but I forget exactly why they were interrupting me, but there was some reason they were reacting to, and I was trying to play, and every 3 seconds they just fucking interrupt my shit, and couldn't play it at all. Couldn't beat. That was like the last Kuso thing I was in. I got beaten by Beavis laughing at me.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't sign up this time. Is it because I was in it again and you didn't want to lose to me?
I think I'd like making people play games more than playing them these days. I'd rather be one of the content pickers.
I get that.
It's actually because scheduling anything on this earth is stressful.
Impossible.
For me. I'd rather just sleep than do than do anything.
You've never been more relatable to me before, Smite.
Yeah, any entry on my calendar, no matter what it is, I'm like, man, come on, can't I just not do that?
Tarragon fell all that way trying to land on top and get that heart and just barely missed it.
Here's the title screen. Daffodil's climbing up. Have we been here before?
Yeah, that's where Gaffodil hatched.
Oh.
What? Tarragon missed it again! Oh no! Tarragon, when you watch this back, I'm so sorry.
I played a lot of bad games. One of the things that made me feel like it wasn't fair for me to join Kuso is how hard they had of a time to pick a game I hadn't seen before. Like, they would go through like 20 games eventually. And they're all games I had seen or beaten even. They have a lot, though. They have a lot of material. So they eventually find one.
Yeah, I used to feel bad about that, but then I realized that their GMs got better at finding just stuff that no one's ever heard of, not just for people like me, but just for, like, they seem to be trying to one-up each other on stuff no one's ever heard of, so At least my matches are always the most obscure nonsense. I feel bad for people who end up in a match with me, not because I'm certain to win. I certainly lose plenty, but just because they're guaranteed to play a game that no human has seen in 10 years.
Yeah. I tend to go for games people have heard of, but they're the worst damn things I could think of. When they let me pick, I pick Wolverine on the SNES and things that I abhor playing so much. There's nothing worse than those games. They're so bad. My top 10
Daffodil
worst
found the
games.
launcher and immediately launched herself to her death.
Making it. This is new. I don't think I've seen this mountainous area before.
Yeah, this is the first person to make it here.
2 minutes remain.
Daffodil is logically reticent, does not want to rush it.
Oh, back to the Warpers.
Interesting. I'm gonna let my players know we've got 2 minutes left.
They don't seem to have the solution to get through this area at the moment. Is it just based on heart count that they can't get through there?
I don't know exactly how that works.
That red wall, I think, is that. I think that's what it is.
You have to be at full health. Oh. Interesting. So you have to make it through here without taking any damage, like messing up any of the launchers. That makes sense. Capital might just have enough time to get back there.
It's not a hard upgrade though, unfortunately. It's just a regular superpower.
Bummer. Who cares about superpowers? We're here to get healthy.
Yeah. That's like, would you rather have invisibility or a hearty breakfast? Just one, just one set of French toast.
Just one hearty breakfast.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like a hearty breakfast every day.
No, just one piece of toast, one egg, well cooked the way you like it.
What'd that power up say it did?
The text is too hard to read on these tiny screens, unfortunately, so I unfortunately can't keep up with that. I just see if I notice anything.
It looked like a shield. Defense up. Okay, so you take less damage from stuff. That's cool.
Heart!
Ooh, Gaffadil getting a heart right at the line.
10 seconds. You can do a slash countdown. Time is up. That is our Untitled race of Untitled Story. An Untitled Story. Competing with Untitled Goose Game for the ultimate in Untitled games. What'd you think? You haven't seen this before,
I
right?
thought this game was really cool. I'm actually really tempted to play through it. It just seems really neat.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be done in an afternoon, almost certainly, even if you're having trouble.
Yeah. So we have 3 people who have reported their scores. Waiting on, I guess, Gaffadil is reporting hers, and Digi tapped out, so... Gaffadil... so the scores were Rob Snowlock with 8, Dude had 9, Tarragon had 13, and Gaffadil had 19 hearts. Like, just an unbelievable number.
Grab that last one right at the end. The race is complete. Yep. Thanks for joining me, everybody. That was Untitled Race, an Untitled Story. And if you would like to play it, it is pretty easy to find. It's still up there.
Yep, just go to mattmakesgames.com. That's Maddie's website, and it's on there, as well as a lot of her older catalog. If you're not sure where to find them and you want to check out some of her older work, Maddie Thorson's catalog is still there. Everything up to Celeste is on there.
I'm not sure what to do if it doesn't run for you, because it is kind of an old game. you might need to virtual box Windows XP or something.
Yeah.
Worst case.
It could be something as simple as like a Microsoft C++ redistributable or something that Game Maker 8 games are depending on and not reporting. But
well, thanks for joining me, Author Blues.
no, thank you.
I thought it worked good. Metroidvania is kind of a should we use a game like this? But since it has a score, I thought it would be a good exploration game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Probably doing another race next week. We don't have a speed game at the moment. Haven't in a while.
Yeah, we haven't had one stable game for a month in quite a while.
Yeah, maybe next year we can start one off in January at some point.
There we go.
I'm gonna host Racefire if you'd like to hit the what arc, what Cade emotes at him. See you later, everybody.